Good morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Morning Heart Devotion. To start off, let's offer a greeting, a bow to our heavenly parents and true parents. 천진 천부님께 경배 바로. And now to go through the family pledge, I'd like to invite up Reverend Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 자녀국 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you very much, Reverend Milhan Stevens. And now to open us up in prayer, I'd like to invite up Yukimi Okon. Yukimi Okon.
Let's pray. 하나님 아버지, 참 부모님, thank you so much this beautiful morning. We are receiving every morning your word, Heavenly Parent, to this morning devotion. We are so grateful every day. We are touching your heart. And then we are growing our heart as your children. How much we didn't know your sorrowful heart. How much we are so far away from your heart. Again, we are determined as your child to go forward, to fulfill our mission as a Father Messiah, thank you so much. This morning also, please let me open this heart to receive your deep guidance. Thank you so much. I receive your deep heart, and then I pray this prayer as my name, Johnson and Yukimiyokun, at President of Family, Aju.
Aju. Aju. Thank you very much, Yukimi-san, for that prayer. Now, brothers and sisters, let us start the day in gratitude. Enjoy by sharing what we're grateful for this morning. If you are by yourself, please take this moment to reflect on what you are appreciative of this morning. We'll see you all in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a great discussion in your breakout. I know I did with the Burns and Hermine Okwa, who I'd like to call on to continue on to share her gratitude points because we just didn't have enough time. Hermine, if you could please unmute yourself and share with us.
Good morning. I was sharing with my brothers and sister this morning about the message, what we have been receiving this morning, every morning, and specifically for the last 2-3 days about my last moment on the earth is approaching. It's when I heard Dr. Young explaining, oh my God, reading all that, the letter of this missionary, it's just touched me to the core, and it's made me really, I don't even know how to explain it, touch me because I'm blessed to a Kenyan, and I heard them talking about Sasamoto, his sacrifices. That was, I heard it when I've arrived in Kenya. It's moved me so much until I think the training center in Kenya, it's named, or the ground actually, it's renamed Sasamoto. So with all this, it's moved me. It's made me rededicate myself, that all these people could not pour their blood and sweat and tears for no reason. I just learned how much I should really, again, rededicate myself and respect our senior missionaries for their sacrifices in everything they have done to lay the foundation on which we are standing on. So we have no choice. Not that we have no choice. We really don't have to really play or just take this like it's nothing, And we can hear how much true mother, so touched, true parents were so touched, So I have the same sentiment with them, and with that, my promise and determination is I can never give up on this way, just to continue doing my best to at least to pay back, to actually participate in the kingdom of God on the earth. That's my grateful points this morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Ms. Okwa. That was really beautiful. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Tyler Hendricks. Dr. Tyler Hendricks, if you please unmute yourself and share with us what you're grateful for this morning.
Thank you, Resfred. First, I'm grateful for Hermine, the testimony we just heard. Hermine really reminds me of Dr. Young. Anyway, something interesting. Also, am I on? I don't see my image. Anyway, I'm grateful for my African shirt that one of my daughters gave me from South Africa. I'm grateful for Anchio. Anchio. We are starting, Saturday is Anchio, and in Korea, they're starting to do a public, or at least for members, worship service on Anchio this Saturday. And I hope that will expand and to become our global tradition, because that's what Father set it up and True Mother set it up for, that Anchio is our day of worship. So it's starting this Saturday, 6 a.m. Here at Sorak in headquarters in our Chunwan worship service. And finally, I'm grateful for trials. And I mentioned that in the group, but there's more than that. Trials are training for going to the spirit world. We really don't know what to expect when we go to the spirit world, right? We've read things, we've heard things, et cetera, but we really don't know. So we need to be strong. Even Jesus, where did Jesus go? He was like the best guy, the best man, the most righteous, virtuous person. and he went to hell. So we may think, oh, I'm a really good person, and maybe end up in hell. So we've got to have training, we got to be prepared. And the best way is to go through trials, and maintain our focus, maintain our energy, learn how to overcome the trials, and stay positive and grateful. Good preparation for going to spirit world. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hendricks. Thank you for your words of wisdom this morning as well. And now, brothers and sisters, let us prepare our hearts and prepare our minds to receive our heavenly inspiration today through our beloved Dr. Chung Sik Yong.
안녕하세요. Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters, clergy, and ambassador for peace. 안녕하십니까? Recently, you are hearing my recording morning devotion. I am really trying my best to deliver like a live, broadcast. Today, I'd like to talk about speaking to a stained with tears. I'd like to invite Heavenly Honey to read.
Mom, you're packing your suitcase again. I didn't answer my third daughter, Unjin, right away. My eldest daughter, Yejin, who was beside me and had been silently helping me pack, asked, Mother, where are you going this time? That is the first thing my children would ask when they saw me take out a suitcase and start packing. Children wish for their mother to always be near them, playing with them, embracing them. However, bound by church activities, meeting with people, and taking frequent trips, I was away from my children more than I was with them. Taking out my suitcase to pack my things signaled to my children that I was at the beginning of another mission far from home. Although traveling can be enjoyable, when it is a mission, challenges set in from the moment you leave. Even if you stay in a palace, your heart is not at ease, as it is not your home.
Okay, continue.
For a decade after the Holy Wedding in 1960, I was rarely at home, so I was rarely comfortable. I went around the entire country, one day visiting a small village near the demarcation line with North Korea, another day journeying to a remote island village, taking part in events and sharing time with members. My heart was not able to relax for even a single day. In 1969, crossing the ocean to Japan marked the beginning of my life of international tours. I had a demanding schedule, and as I arrived in each new city, I treated each new land as my own, and the people in each country as my brothers and sisters. Nonetheless, I would find time to buy postcards, and at the end of the day, though it was often past midnight, I would write letters to my children who were wishing I were at home. Here is one of them. Dear Yojin, I miss you and want to see you. My son, whom I always call to and think of and run to and hug, my good, cute, precious, beloved son, whom I never want to let go of. I miss you. So, Yojin, though we are separated for a while, you are one of heaven's happy sons. Our filial son, Yojin. Our good-hearted and wise Yojin, I love you. I know you will become a filial son of heaven, a filial son of earth, and a filial son of the universe. You will become a good example of a filial child. Both Appa and Oma feel so sad that we are too busy following the will and have such little time to spend with you. Yet, We feel so proud and secure because of you. Yojin, you are different from other children. Even though you run around with your friends, you must remember your origin is God and not damage his dignity. Appa and Oma are always proud of you. When we see you in the near future, can you surprise your Appa and Oma a lot? Appa and Oma have a great dream for you. Oma is waiting and always praying for that. Stay healthy. Goodbye. May 12th, 1973, Belvedere, USA.
Wow, beautiful letter. It can be seen that through mother's teaching and the method emphasize filial piety. Because filial piety is the source of all virtues, I came to understand Rev.Chung Johannes' teaching. His teaching is very simple. When you raise up your children as a filial sons and daughters, then your education already is over. Because filial piety never, ever betray parents. You are truly filial sons and daughters. You can truly love your own brothers and sisters. If you are truly God's filial sons and daughters, you truly love your nation, truly love even your enemy. That's why, saying here, filial piety is the source of all virtues. That's why when we raise up our children like a true mother, how we keep on emphasizing for them to become filial sons and daughters. Filial piety is a vertical alignment between God and myself, between my parents and myself. As long as I set up this kind of vertical virtue of the filial heart, then I can apply to everywhere. This is the key point. That's why through mother's keyword is always what? 효정, HJ, 효정. Through mother, initial the whole word 학자, HJ. Same thing. Through mother's keyword is always 효정. Secondly, true mother taught each child that you are different from ordinary children. True mother always reminded them that they are children of heaven. This is a very important point. When we raise up our second generation, our blessed children, how should we raise up? You need to tell them differences between servants' blood lineage, slaves' blood lineage, and royal families' blood lineage. Hey, my son and my daughter, my second generation, my third generation, do you know? You came from royal family blood lineage. You are different. You are not ordinary children. Your blood lineage comes from royal family blood lineage. You did not come from slaves' blood lineage. That's why Appa, Amma, as a father and mother, we receive the blessing from two parents. Even though your Appa, Amma background comes from slaves' blood lineage, because of true father and true mother, you came from royal family's blood lineage. That's why your blood lineage cannot mix with slaves' blood lineage. This is very important. We need to educate our blessed child in such a way. We need to teach them clearly what is the meaning of the blessing. What is the identity of the blessing? What is the identity of second generation? What are the differences between first generation, second generation? It was emphasized not to damage the dignity of heaven as well. And true mother saying, ask the Hyojinim and true children, you need to keep your heavenly dignity. What does heavenly dignity? You come from true parents' blood lineage. You came from royal family blood lineage. That's why no matter what, you need to keep your dignity. You carry on heavenly blood lineage, royal family blood lineage. As a heavenly blood lineage, you need to keep your your dignity. How can royal family blood lineage can mix together with slaves' blood lineage? You cannot be done like that. Also, true mother has always planted dreams in her children. True mother always reminded her children of their dreams. Do you know what your dream? Your dream should be God's dream. Your dream should be true parents' dream. You need to establish, you need to have the dream of ideal family, ideal filial sons and daughters. You need to establish ideal nation, which is 천일국. You need to really establish ideal, ideal war. Wow. Need to plan God's dream. God's dream. Everybody have a dream and vision, but centering on whose dream? We need to really guide our second generation, third generation. How can we plan God's dream? That's why Bible says, where there is no vision, people perish. Of course, everybody have vision. What kind of vision, what kind of dream do they have? Centering on heavenly vision and dream. You don't have a heavenly vision and dream, you will perish. What is a heavenly vision and dream? That is establishing God's substantial 천일국. Even though you are second generation, even though you are blessed family, you're working hard, but in your heart, in your mind, you don't have God's dream, which is establishing God's 천일국. You are nothing dealing with God. And also, true mother reminded her children that as a parent, she always prays and is devoted to her children. And then they let them realize that how much your daddy and mom love you with almost the sincerity, almost the 정성. I am so sad to see our true children because our true parents totally dedicate to support us, support God's providence. They really don't have time to focus on their own children. That's why I feel so sorry to each one of the true children. They did not receive proper love from father and mother. That's why in the beginning I was so struggling. But there are divisions, this and that. I tried to judge them when I was immature faith. But gradually I understand that. Centering on their point of view, they have a lot of, lack of love. Lack of love. We are the one who receive true parental love more than that. Therefore, We need to understand them. No matter what, we keep on trying to love them. Love is the only key for them to reconnect to our true parents. True father's word today, Jesus' life of attendance toward his disciples. Please, Heavenly Honey, read.
In this sense, what did Jesus prepare in his 3-year public course and by having 12 disciples? Jesus did not live for his own sake, but lived his life for the sake of his disciples. His 12 disciples are special. 1, they are a special 12 people representing all of humankind in the course of human history. 2, they are people from that era, but they are the standard form transcending history and representing the whole of humankind in vertical history. Jesus raised these 12 disciples and lived a life of attendance for them for 3 years. What was the 3-year life of attendance for? It was to spread the seeds and cultivate the sprouts. It was not a life for himself, but a life lived for others. When the disciples whom he lived for turned their backs on him, it caused great disappointment. When the 12 disciples tossed Jesus aside, Jesus made the resolution and prayed, "Not as I will, but as you will." Jesus asserted himself in front of God in regards to the cross and prayed with his life on the line.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. We can learn very important things from Father's word today here. How did Jesus prepare in his 3-year public course? He had to love each and every person of his disciples. First, he had to restore the 3 disciples, then 12 disciples, 72 disciples, and 120 disciples. True Father found and established 36 families, 12 families Old Testament age, 12 families New Testament age, and 12 families the completed Testament age. The 12 disciples were special form representing all of humankind in the course of human history. There are 12 months in a year, 12 different kind of the character. 12 disciples like a representative of the all mankind. And then through Father, through Mother, this need to restore entire human history, centering on Old Testament era, 12 families, centering on New Testament era, 12 disciples family, and then centering on complete Testament era. And true parents need to find 12 in the place of families. The 12 disciples all distrusted Jesus. In particular, the 3 disciples did not become one with Jesus and were asleep. They could not become one with Jesus artistically. To prepare the foundation of faith, we must have a Trinity. If 3 people cannot become one, Satan will always invade. It is truly amazing that the Father found 12 disciples without saying a word in the Hungnam prison. In the end, the 3 could not become one with Jesus. So he went the way of the cross. My dear brothers and sisters, this is a very, very important point. I again and again and re-emphasize the importance of the Trinity. God's substantial kingdom of heaven begins from Trinity, where there are 2 or 3 people unite together in the name of Jesus, and then Jesus is there. God is there. The Lord is there all the time. If three disciples unite together, they wanted to die for the sake of the Jesus, to protect Jesus, then Jesus did not go to the cross according to Father's word. Okay, next content.
The ideology of unity starts from a trinity. 3 people in a trinity should know how to unite. Those who don't know how to unite within 3 people cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. The ideology, concept of unity starts from a trinity. If these 3 people don't know how to unite, they will be far from entering the kingdom of heaven. They will not be able to see it. Besides, based on this, they must unite with 12 people. If 3 groups become one team and 36 people in this team are united, Satan cannot claim them. Nobody can touch them.
Wow. This system of Trinity is really amazing. The condition for entering heaven, according to Father's word, Father always talking about, mind and body must unite. This is the first thing, to unite. Secondly, the couple must unite. And then what's the third point? 3 generations must unite. Number 4, very important, the Trinity must unite. And then number 5, the tribe must unite. 5 steps we need to go. Unity condition. Unity condition. Even though you make the unity mind and body, you cannot enter kingdom of heaven. What's the minimum condition of the unity? Between husband and wife. Between husband and wife. Because the structure of the kingdom of heaven, structure of the pair system, no matter how much you are great man, individual perfection, your character is perfect, even though you are the Messiah or you are beloved son or beloved daughter, it does not matter. You cannot enter kingdom of heaven by alone. What's the minimum condition? Minimum condition should be blessed couple. The couple must unite. And then in order to enter the kingdom of heaven, the minimum condition, 3 generations need to unite together. And then when you establish that kind of model or ideal family, and what's the next level? You need to create Trinity family. Without creating Trinity family, you do not know how to multiply God's kingdom of heaven. God's kingdom of heaven need to multiply centering on Trinity. Father said, why unification movement cannot develop? Because they fail to create Trinity family. If we know how to serve the Trinity family, and our movement automatically increasing and develop. And then finally, everybody can fulfill the mission of heavenly tribal messiahship. That's why here talking about the Trinity. The ideology of unification begins with the Trinity. Until now, we have only cared about unity of mind and body, unity of the family, but we were unable to practice unity of the Trinity centering on our neighbors. This is why our unification church has not been able to develop. This is the big problem. Only I care my own children. I try to care. I try to unite with my wife, and then centering on my 3 generations. Never care other blessed family, centering on Trinity family. This is the problem. The problem of the unification church style, unification church style individualism, and the unification church style family ideology. The problem is we have to experience the heart community. What is the minimum heart community? That is a Trinity. The purpose of the 3 people and 3 families becoming one is for 12 people to become one. Witnessing is very simple. Father said, as long as you restore 3 spiritual children, create Trinity centering on you, centering on spiritual parents, then easily become 7 or 8 or 12 and 21 and 36. That's why our online holy community, anyone have a artistic and inseparable relationship centering on Trinity, this is the key to multiply our online holy community. Why our online holy community cannot develop? Because even though you have the 3 spiritual children, there is no artistic and inseparable relationship with your Trinity. When there is a complete oneness among Trinity, Father said, the attribute of the Trinity is definitely multiplication, definitely development. That is the attribute of the unity. Wow, this is the key. That's why when we raise up our leaders and members, we really need to re-emphasize again and again. Just you focus on artistic Trinity. 3 people unite together centering on you, then that is the key to multiply and then spread our movement everywhere. Not just only focus on how to spread and multiply. How can I have inseparable artistic relationship with my Trinity? You don't have a artistic family centering on Trinity, you are nothing. You are nothing. Just only care of your wife, just only care of your husband, care of your own children. That's it. I don't care other place family. That means you do not know how to build kingdom of heaven. Kingdom of heaven begins from Trinity. When the Trinity unite, it automatically multiplies to 12 people and goes further to make 36 people and then 72, and finally we can reach 430. If the Trinity becomes one, Satan cannot claim them. Nobody can touch them. If just one person, then Satan can invade from the 360 degree. Just only 2 cannot make space, But at least you have 3 triangle. You are in the middle part, can protect you. At least need to have the 3, then can protect you. Jesus alone, from 600 degrees, Satan can invade anytime. Just only 2 still cannot make space. Minimum 3. That's why Jesus, 3 disciples is really important to protect Jesus. Even 3 disciples cannot unite with Jesus. Jesus no foundation. He need to go to the way of the cross. This is the principle. Okay? Heavenly Honey to read.
The place where God dwells and works. When 2 or 3 people pray together, God can dwell and work. That is why I created the Trinity for you who walk the way of the will. The question is, to what extent can you become one with each other, centered on your Trinity? Matthew chapter 18, verse 20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst of them.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. God's heaven begins with becoming one. And then I'd like to re-emphasize the smallest unit of heaven is the family. And next is where 3 families become one. To be united means the Trinity is united. When the Trinity is united, the heart-touching movement is formed. Then we can fulfill our portion of responsibility. Wow, as a minister, you do not know the importance of Trinity, you surely fail your mission. You never multiply. Never, ever. At least you have the really three people miss you, long for you, care of you, like a mind and body relationship, inseparable relationship. I am telling you, this is the key to increase 12 and 30 and 40, and then create entire beautiful environment in your church, in your tribal mesa area. That's why, how can I find 3 disciples, 3 blessed family can unite with me? This is the key point. Today's youth ministry practice a life of faith through the able figure. Sometimes thinking and acting with goodness can turn into evil. It becomes a sin when you do not go through a close able figure. Looks like your motivation is very pure. Goodness, I try to do something, somehow. It can turn into evil. Why? It becomes a sin when you do not go through a close able figure. This is a very important point. You need to practice a life of faith through able figure. Without able figure, everything decided by yourself become evil. No matter how much you have a pure motivation, do you think you are correct? Do you think you have the clear principle point of view, but without going through the able figure, can make mistake. Surely make mistake. You look at Adam and Eve. They did not go through God. You Noah's family. Noah's son, Ham, his motivation is good. Try to cover his father's lower part. Motivation looked like good. Something helped his father. But centering on God's point of view, he did not like this. That's why my emotion, my thinking need to practice a life of faith through Abel's figure. Not through Abel's figure, everything decided by my own self. That is the fall. Why Adam and Eve eat the fruit of knowledge of good and evil? Why decide everything by themselves without going through God? When Cain angry with Abel, when he upset with Abel, why did not go through God? Why did not ask God? This is the problem. I myself might say that it was for the sake of the center, but if my thoughts do not match the thought of the center, it becomes a problem. There are times when my heart says it was for the center, but I caused the center to suffer. When Noah's son Ham saw his father lying naked, he was ashamed and covered his body, which became a condition of disbelief. Sometimes we act without telling our Abel because we do not want to cause him to worry. But if it goes against Abel's figure intentions, it will actually cause him to worry. You know why we need to report? Even though your motivation looks like pure, even though you are doing right, important things. Why we need to report and asking and counseling, even though we know each other very well? Why? Need to have artistic communication. If you have a habit decide everything by yourself, this kind of the person, that kind of person, the life of it never grow up. Already you have that kind of wrong habit. God cannot intervene you. Even small thing, ask God. Heavenly Father, today I wake up 2:30. Why you ask me to wake up earlier? Do you want to tell me something? You need to ask God. Every moment, Heavenly Father, do you want to eat more? Do you want to rest? Need to ask everything. That is a artistic communication, creating unity. Do not decide by yourself. Father saying that, who is the beautiful daughter-in-law? And wake up every morning, and then she knows that how many family members in her family, let's just say 7 or family members, then she know how much rice need, to cook the rice. She knows that. But Father said, this daughter-in-law asked the mother-in-law, Mother, how much do I cook? How much is the rice I need to cook and cook? Both of them knows very well, but daughter-in-law asked mother-in-law. Father said, that is really artistic unity and communication. No report. Or do you have to decide everything by yourself? You don't have an able figure? Your life of faith cannot grow up anymore. This is kind of the habit. You never ask God. Then become self-centered. Easily become horizontal. This code arises between husband and wife when one says that when one says they did something to help the family, but the partner judges that it was wrong, creating disunity. That's why even though each other know very well, always need to get confirmation, discuss each other. Since we do not know the intention of a central figure, we must live always discussing. Not just only Cain report to Abel. Abel also need to ask and need to get a feeling from Cain's field. What do you think? And then parents always ask children's opinion, even though parents know children's situation. But always need to ask. Why? In order to create artistic unity. In our vertical relationship with God, we must always offer devotion and prayer. Prayer is a report of our life and discussion, inquiry to know the will of the central figure. Father is the Messiah. Father said one of his main slogan is what? Asking. Ask God. He knows that what kind of the answer we'll get it. But he always asks. Wow. We need to learn from Father. If something goes wrong while consulting with and reporting to our close Abel, the central figure will take responsibility for me. Even though I report to my Abel, but my Abel wrong decision, even though Abel made the wrong decision, I think that was a principle. I really believe in that. Father said, God will be responsible for that because you truly believe. My brothers and sisters, let's practice life of faith through Abel figure. Very, very important. And we don't make any mistake. We can build artistic and inseparable relationship with God, with my family, with our Abel figures. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Young, for your guidance this morning, sharing with us the heart of true children towards mother, importance of Trinity, and also living a life of faith through our able figure. Brothers and sisters, let's take the next few minutes, 6 minutes, to reflect and share with each other what we gained from today's morning devotion. If you're by yourself, please take this moment to reflect on what you gained and what you were inspired by from Dr. Young's message this morning. We'll see you all in a few minutes. you had a wonderful, wonderful, heartfelt sharing in your breakouts. I know I did. I had a very intimate conversation with brother Derek, who I'd like to call on to share with us his reflection points this morning.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Res Fred. I'm very moved by Res Fred that I wouldn't have thinking that he would want to invite me to talk to everyone in public, but good morning to everyone, brothers and sisters. I'm very touched to talk with Res Fred because Res Fred's in an area of life where I remember my life. I was telling Res Fred that whenever I hear Dr. Yong talking, my mind doesn't drift, but it focuses on the path that I led from the days I joined the movement until today. And I've had great opportunity to be 3 years in CARP and worked with, we did work and unite with Trinity figures. And then when I went to Belvedere and East Garden as True Parent Security, under security, it was a little crazy in that lifestyle. It was me in the center, in the middle of the whole tornado and whirlwind. And so the perspective of what you see and being around true children and true parents it's not easy to see the center. And it's so much more the reason such prayer is so incessant and needed. And it's so much more keyly important that we always united with the central figure and unite. But it's so clear, the words that Dr. Young uses today, the minute we break from that Trinity, immediate accusation from Satan. And I've made decisions that were not centered on an able type figure. It was based on my own. And that's testimony to prove how Satan can use that and throw you anywhere you go. It's not like it's totally lost. We're still here as long as we have our physical body. And as long as we can connect to a central Trinity, we're in the safe. And as long as we're always continuously repenting and communicating with someone other than ourselves to get feedback and unity. Oh, wow, Satan can't invade. That's amazing. So I really gained a lot from this morning's talk. And I'm always moved to see Res Fred working in East Garden and working around there. It's like, wow, I understand the meaning of a longing heart, because wow, it's such a beautiful experience that I had. And we can't afford to turn our backs on God and our true parents. And our true parents have just demonstrated their entire life of their love for everybody on a magnified world level. It's amazing. Anyway, thank you for letting me share, Res Fred. I know I threw a lot out there, but I apologize. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for sharing your heart with us. I really enjoyed my breakout with you, especially hearing your life testimony. Thank you. Next, today, I didn't get a suggestion from Milhan, so that means it's up on the table as to who I call on. How about Eunmi and Eugen to share with us their reflection today?
Thank you. Well, for me, I really resonated with the thought that I might have good intentions, like I might want to do something good, but it might end up not being the right thing to do, like if I don't go through my able. I know that growing up, I didn't really have an able figure, and this is something it's a concept that's really new for me. At least being in CARP now, I have an able, YCLC, I also have an able. So it's basically me learning what it means to have a relationship with my able and being not only obedient, but understanding their perspective and always going through them. So for me, it's definitely a place in my life where I need to grow. And I'm grateful to Dr. Young for the guidance, because I've always wondered what the dynamics should be. So I'm really grateful for this guidance. And definitely as he continues to teach us about these relationships, it can also help us in the different areas of mission that we have to be able to relate to the able in the right way.
For me, it's also just having the right mindset and motivation, and also just reporting to my able. And another thing I really resonated with is the Trinity. Yeah, I've always thought of like once I get the blessing, once I receive the blessing, it's like, okay, like now what from there? Like what's the next step? But now I know like the blessing is not the end goal. Like for like the next step would be forming a Trinity and just artistically connecting with them. Yeah, and that's where we can where we can all start just to, I don't know, build this kingdom of heaven. Because sometimes it feels like, sometimes when I think about it, it feels so far away, but I'm guessing like from this, it can, like we can see, like I can be able to see the beginning of it. And yeah, I'm really grateful for that. And also we were in a breakout room with Aunt Susanna, and yeah, she's really going through struggles right now, and I'd just like to ask all brothers and sisters to pray for her if you can. Yeah, her husband is not really in a good position or state. His he's sick, so just like to ask all of my brothers and sisters to pray for her and her family. Aunt Susanna Pearson, that's her name, and Jim Anderson. Yeah, Jim Anderson is her husband's name. So if you can please pray for her and her family, I would be very grateful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing the reflection points with us, Eugene and me. And yeah, we'll be sure to pray for Jim Anderson. All right, brothers and sisters, if you felt like you gained something out of today's morning devotion, if you're inspired, if something stood out to you, please invite people to be a part of this morning devotion family so they don't miss out on his goodness every single morning. If you are watching from Facebook or from YouTube, you can join in on the Zoom experience by going to edu.familyfed.org. And if you are feeling especially inspired, you can click the link in the chat. Tao recognizes my cue. We click the link in the chat to give, to offer, to support this morning devotion ministry. If you're watching online, there should be a link right here. Or once again, go to edu.familyfed.org, and at the top, there's a donate button. You can set to donate recurrently and forget. All right, so now is our time for a musical offering. And today I have the honor of welcoming Atmar Weinman again to share with us his music from Camp Shahakwa.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can.
All right. Good morning. You're the special Shahakwa music team this morning. And it's a great place to be. My grandson yesterday told me, Papa, he calls me Papa, I want to live here all my life. I want to live here forever. Okay, we're going to sing a song called Love is Born Anew by Joshua Carter. Here we go. You've been always one so long. Oh, want to rescue weary hand upon my heart. Just take my hand, and together we will find a secret place where dreams are born and love's alive. Your love's alive. So strong, although the grace had come against you for so long, you still go on, and your hope is like a flame that never bursts through the darkness and the pain. Turn your teardrops into smiles. You're the Father I am Mother, you've been on this road so long. Oh, won't you rest your weary head upon my heart? Just take my hand, and together we will find a secret place where peace are born and love's alive. Your love's alive. Mother, you're the rock that stands so strong. Although the waves have come against you for so long, you still go on, and your hope is like flame that's ever burning through the darkness and the pain. Turn your teardrops into smiles. You're the mother, I am your child, and together we will heal this world, and love is born anew. Turn your teardrops into smiles. You're the parent, I am your child, and together we will heal this world, and love is born anew.
That was so beautiful. Let's give him a hand. Thank you, Shakwa, for offering this song this morning. So many of the moms you recognize from morning devotion. All right, brothers and sisters, to close it off, he's smiling. His smiles are really beautiful, and he was sort of swaying along to the song. I'd like to invite up Ronald Rabotini to close us off in prayer, please.
Good morning. Please join me in prayer. Good morning, our loving Heavenly Parent. Heavenly Parent, we thank you for this day, this morning, that we could receive this precious guidance from Dr. Yong that could allow us to see with the right mind, the right vision to look upon our situations and look upon others with a different mindset, a loving mindset that can connect to your heart. We're so grateful for your love for us. We're so thankful that you love us so much that you could send Dr. Yong to share with us his precious guidance. And we are so grateful that we can be able to go out in this day, start this day, and to practice and to share this heart that you have shared with us. I would like to offer this report as Ronald and Jacob Rabatini, a blessed Central family. Aju.
Thank you so much, Ronald, for that beautiful prayer. And to everyone, thank you so much for joining Morning Devotion today. I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you all bright and early tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.